Hey everybody, this is Dream, and today we have our NASCAR breakdown of this weekend in Darlington. We have three races, the Truck, Xfinity, and Cup races. I will be going through all three of these races in this video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Before I do that though, can you guys smash that like and subscribe button? Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the Truck race. So this is the Buckle Up South Carolina 200 at Darlington. Now, Darlington is notoriously a tough track to run at, and so we do have some really good plays here. Ross Chastain being the top most expensive option. He's been a bit risky here at this track, but he does have some upside, and he's going to have a fast car. A fast truck, and he's got some really nice upside for this race. He definitely is in this one to win it. William Byron is a cheaper option, and he's a little bit less risky than Chastain is. He has really nice upside here. He is in this race to win it. He's got a great car, a great truck running for Kyle Busch as well, so that really gives him an added bonus. He could literally start this race at the front and finish at the front. He's definitely capable of doing that in this particular race. Then we'll look at Ben Rhodes for Thor Sports at $9,700. He has a win here in his last few races, though his average finish isn't great. It's a tough track to be good at, and he has some upside here being a winner before, though he is a little bit risky due to his price. Grant Enfinger is also in play here for GMS Racing. He doesn't have a win at this track, but in the last four starts, he's been in the top 10. And if he starts farther to the back, he's definitely gonna have some more upside. He is definitely an interesting play on this particular race. Then we'll look at Garcia. Jake Garcia, that is, in the 35 at $7,400. He has some really nice upside. He's had some really good finishes this season in the races he's so far. I like his upside. I definitely would like him more if he starts near the back, but he definitely has fantasy point potential here in this race. Then we'll look at Chase Purdy for the number 4 truck car, also, for a truck rather, also for Kyle Busch. He's going to be somewhat annoying to roster depending on how he qualifies, but he does have top-tier equipment here, and if he starts near the back, he would definitely become a top-tier play. He is risky because he's not, the greatest driver, but he definitely has potential, and he is a punt and pray option if he starts in the top, 10 or 15. Then we'll look at Haley Deegan. Now, she is a Hail Mary play in the slate. Very cheap at $6,500, helps you roster other drivers. She has been better the last few weeks, which is giving her some potential here. She hasn't been good at this track in the past, though, so do keep that in mind. But this is the first season that she seems like she's turning a corner a little bit, and she's had a top 10 recently, so I like the upside, especially if she starts farther back, but she is somewhat risky as that in this particular situation. So that's what I have for the truck race. Moving into the Xfinity race, which is the Shriners Children's 200. We have some really good options here. This race has probably got the most balance from top to bottom. We'll start with Kyle Larson for Hendrick here in the 10 car. He has the best chance to win this race. He's high risk due to his price, but he's also very possible he starts the front and finishes there. He's got really good potential here. He's going to be looking to win this race, and he's got a definite upside in this particular situation. Then we'll look at John Hunter Nemechek. He will be chasing win here as well. He has 2 starts here recently, and he took a top 5 and a top 10 in both of those. A top 5 in one and a top 10 in the other. He's priced up, but he's definitely worth a look. He definitely has the capability, and he can win races on at this track. Josh Berry is a great option on this slate. He's had 8 top 10s this season in 10 races, and he's been really good here in the past as well. He had a top 5 and 2 top 10s the last 2 starts here. He is priced up, but he's worth a look. Pretty much all the cars from Junior Motorsports are worth a look here, and he's got a great opportunity. Justin Allgaier is also in play. He has 2 wins here in his last 6 races here. He's got 5 top 10s as well and 4 top 5s. He is a near must play on the slate. I really like his upside, depending on where he starts here, especially. Ross Chastain is also in play. He's a little bit harder to roster on this slate due to his price being a little bit pretty expensive, and a lot of the other guys available have more consistency here. And he does have some risk involved with him getting into, issues with other drivers, but he definitely has upside and a car that can win if he pushes it and doesn't get into any messes. Austin Hill is in play here. In the last 3 races here, he has 3 top 10s, which gives him some nice upside here. He's a little bit cheaper than the other options. I don't necessarily think he's got a great chance for a win on this particular race, but I do think he's got good upside and has potential. Then we'll look at Brandon Jones for $8,400, a little bit cheaper here. He's also, here for Junior Motorsports. He's got some really nice upside. He snuck a win here too, which he's got the lowest finishing average on the slate, but he definitely has the ability to do well here. Then we'll look at Parker Kligerman for $7,500. He's a cheap option. He's a little bit risky, but if he starts near the back, then he's definitely worth a look. He's got good upside if that's the case. He's had some good races this season. He's a little bit risky, though, but he's cheaper, and that helps you roster him. Ryan Sieg for $7,000 here in the 38. He started the last 6 races here, all top 20s. He's at 3 top 10s and a top 5 as well. He's pretty cheap, and he definitely has potential to have another pretty good race here, and that's what we're looking for in these cheap plays. And then finally, Jeb Burton at $6,300. He has a top 5 in the last 4 starts here, and he draws a decent upside. Obviously, where he starts is really going to matter a lot, but if he starts near the back, he definitely has some upside potential. Moving into the Cup race here, this is going to be the race at the Goodyear 400. And in this race, there's really not a ton of great value, so it's going to be somewhat harder to roster, but there's a lot of good mid-priced options. But I will start at the top here with Kyle Larson, who obviously has some really good potential here. In the last 3 starts, he's had 2 top 5s. He's got a good car all season, but he's had issues with other drivers doing stuff, and it's not even been his fault, so he definitely has the utility to have a good race. Denny Hamlin is also in play here. He had a win here in the last 6 races, including 3 top 5s. He's got really nice upside depending on where he starts, and I like his potential. Kyle Busch is one of the top-rated drivers at this track. He's a win in 3 top 5s in the last 6 races here. The other 3 races were not very good because of crashes, but he tends to be at the front of this track, and so I like his upside in this particular situation. He is somewhat high risk, high reward in that case, though. Chase Elliott has a win here in 2 top 5s in the last 6 races. He's got really good upside. I like Hamlin and Larson better, but he's a lot cheaper, and that definitely makes him more rosterable on this slate. Then we'll look at Kevin Harvick for $8,800. He's priced down some. He's had 2 wins in the last 5 races here. He's also had 4 top 5s and 5 top 10s in the last 6. So he's very capable here. He has great upside, and his price is pretty reasonable for this particular race as well. Josh Berry's in play here. He's in a really good car. He's got some really nice upside, and he's managed to do pretty decent in Cup, despite not really having much experience. He also knows how to drive this track well, as he's had a lot of success at it in the Xfinity race. So I like his potential here, and he's relatively cheap and a really good car. So I like his potential. Eric Almirola for $6,300 is a very good value play. Stuart Haas is really good here, and obviously if he gets a worse starting position, that would definitely give him some potential. Though he doesn't typically have great finishes a lot, he definitely has the utility here as a cheap value play. And then Michael McDowell, who has had some success here in the past with 3 top 10s in the last 6 races. He has some really nice upside. Despite the fact he hasn't had a great start to the season, he's had some decent races. And if he starts farther to the back, that'll definitely give him some upside as well. So with that said, guys, thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. Make sure to call out who you think is going to win each race in the comments below. And have a nice day, guys.